Hello, friends. This is Brittany with the FBC So That Missions podcast. We are so excited to be back in the studio today with Faith for part 2 of just her journey and her love for missions.
Welcome to FBC Missions So That podcast. This is an encouraging place to hear how God is working in and around us. We know that He blesses His people so that they can bless the world around them. Join us as we discuss how to join God in all that He is doing. Why is God working in our life, church, and community? It's so that through us, the world will know that He is near.
All right. Well, I am so happy. If you haven't yet listened to the previous podcast where I'm interviewing my sweet friend Faith, you have to go back. You just really have to. You have to go back and listen to it. But we are here for part 2. So Faith, hello.
Hello.
Thank you for being here today.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be only a part 1, but that's okay.
Here we are, part 2. Well, and I don't know. It's just, here we are. It's just us in this room, and we're able to be in the flow. Mm-hmm. We talked a little bit about that on the first episode.
Yeah.
I guess
it really is like living in our true identities right now.
Absolutely. Because we're just, I don't know, you know me well enough, Faith, and some people listening to this know me well enough. Like, I have a list of things we're going to talk about, and we just really haven't talked about any of these things. Not my way, but His way.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So how are you today?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. Last time was not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yay.
So it turns out it really is just like talking to a friend.
It's just like talking to a friend, and it is so cool. I mean, I don't necessarily love to stand up. I do. I love to share things, but I don't like to always just be the center of attention. But there's something about being here and recording some amazing stories that honor the Lord that are just it's awesome.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
I love looking back and seeing what God's done.
Yeah.
Over my life.
Yeah. It's a good thing for us all to do.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. So in the previous episode, let me give just a little recap to truly make sure, listeners, that you will go back and listen. But we talked about Faith growing up in the church. We talked about her testimony, an amazing dream that she had at age 13, and a beautiful prayer. Do you want to tell us the prayer you prayed?
Yeah. So I just prayed that God would give me the boldness to accept Him, because I couldn't do it on my own.
Well, it's I don't know. There's a lot of times, even now, I will hold on, if you can imagine a steering wheel, right? I will be holding on so tightly, white knuckle, gripping the steering wheel of our life, not wanting to let go. And we talk about this in the first episode of that surrender, where we can just unwrap our hands, and you can see, if you were in the studio, you could see me doing this right now, but basically just turn our hands and open them up for what the Lord has in our life. And so Faith talked about how she opened up and let the Lord come in, and she accepted Christ as her Savior at Cairo. Yeah. In Colorado.
Yes.
It was
in New Mexico.
In Glorieta, right?
Yeah, Glorieta. Yeah.
Yeah. And He just has come in and done a lot.
Yeah.
In your life since then.
Yeah.
Would you say that He's
big difference.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me more about the big difference that you've noticed with Him moving in your life.
I really hear it mostly from friends.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to see all that God's doing when you're living in it. Yeah. And I guess it really only happened a year ago, which I don't know. It was over my whole life, but just everything working out.
But you've seen major movement forward. Since that moment.
In the first one I talked about how going on my first mission trip, I was I don't even want to give this to someone. I don't want to talk to them.
It was a gospel story, right?
Yeah, it was a gospel story. And then I was the second one, I'm oh yeah, let's go pray for people. Let's share the gospel.
Oh, I love it. So yeah, I also share in the first podcast that Faith and I have become dear friends. I'm almost old enough. I think we did this one day. I'm almost old enough to be your mom, right? I think we did that one day.
Yeah.
And I am. Yeah, I am. I am.
I don't think of you as that old.
But
I'm just that old. So,
but Faith hasn't yet. She's not yet graduated from high school. But it's just so inspiring to see the Lord, how He's moving in her life, just what he already has put in place, like since she had that moment of surrender, which was hard. You gotta go back and listen. It was, like in the dining hall at church camp, tears. Yeah.
In front of a ton of people.
And we can even land there for a minute. Like we talked about not, like worrying about what people think.
Yeah.
And I mean, we didn't really touch on that, but that's been something that you've worked through a little bit also.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, even just in these last couple of months, like I used to be like, oh, like praying out loud was like the biggest struggle. And now I'm like, I want to pray for people.
Oh,
like
out loud.
Wow. Like I am now at the point where I'll be like, yeah, I'll pray.
Wow.
Which is,
so
yeah.
Cool.
Which kind of goes back to like my identity.
Yeah.
And like what God calls me. And like, yeah.
When you say what God calls me, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. In the book Living Fearless that I'm studying with Brittany and Kelsey, it just talks about how like God has made you with an identity. Like he's put something in you that, like, yes, we are like children of God. Yes, we do have those other names, but he's given something that's just for you. And I feel like one of my identities that he's given me has to do with prayer. So at first, whenever I heard that, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I do not like praying.
Don't you remember, God? I care what people think.
Yeah,
and how can I pray out loud?
Exactly. But since I've started like embracing that, I've just loved it. And I've seen like the power of prayer, like and all of that.
Faith, what's coming to my mind right now, I think about the fact that you have now gone to Mexico on missions twice, and you just got back from the Middle East, and you're going to go on another trip. We can talk about that. But how cool is it that you're learning part of your identity has something major to do with prayer, and he's allowing you to go to these places and see the people.
Yeah.
So in perspectives, we've talked about perspectives in the first one. We learn how, really all of our purpose is the Great Commission. All of our purpose is in Matthew 28:19-20, to go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I think I missed a few words in there.
I don't know. That sounded good to me.
I feel like I missed a few words.
That's about it, I think.
That's all of our purpose.
Yeah. Go and make disciples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of our purpose.
Yeah. And the one thing that was like good was perspectives really broke that down and showed you like what it actually means to make disciples.
Yeah.
And like how to like not just be like, oh, like you're good, like you're saved, you're fine.
Yeah. It's
like, no, you need to like, I think it was like multiplication versus like
addition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The perspectives class, for those of you that don't know about that, it is a 15-week class that's incredible. We talk a lot about that in the first episode, and there is another class coming up in January of 2026. I'm getting the numbers right this podcast. But yeah, so that is all of our purpose, to go and make disciples. But then we have a unique calling. And this is sort of what Faith was just talking about with she's starting to hear that the Lord is really impressing upon her this ability to pray as part of her kingdom identity.
Yeah. And
so I'm just like so excited that you're also getting to go and see more of God's people. So also when in the Great Commission, when we hear all nations, or we see all nations all throughout the Bible, it comes from the Greek word ethnos, which means people groups. We learned about people groups in perspective. It's not a geopolitical nation. It's a group of people who share a language, a culture. Like if Chad were here, he could really define people group much better, but it's not a geopolitical nation. And so now you're getting to go. You've gone and seen different people groups. Just in the last year, year, you've gone to Mexico and the Middle East and seen people groups face to face. You've looked at people in the eye. You've hugged people from different people groups, different places, different languages. And now with this power to pray for these people, like, I'm just curious about that. Anything with prayer that's already come up?
I think I still need that push to pray with like people that I don't know well. The biggest thing that I would kind of do was like pray like before the day started and like pray for like just us to have like the right words and to have the right actions in all of it. And
wow. So you were doing that a lot on the trips?
On the trip, yeah. Like our team would stop and we would just pray in the morning. Like somebody would be like, hey, can we pray? And like it just like the peace that comes from that.
Wow. But then, you know what? I didn't even think about that, Faith. I was thinking at it from that perspective of a global Christian. So we learned that a global Christian, when you think of the Great Commission and wanting to impact all nations, we can pray from right where we are for people and all nations to know him. We can welcome people, like welcome international students, or even people who have been displaced and they're here. We can welcome them as a means to move his purpose, all nations knowing him further. We can go, which you've gone. We can mobilize others to go, encourage others to go. Let's see, which one am I forgetting? Pray, go, welcome. Oh, we can give. You can give. You can help other people to go by being generous with your finances. And so that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about it from that perspective of now that you're here and you know people there where you've gone, you can even still pray for them.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah. You can still do a lot while you're here.
Absolutely.
Like, just from your house.
Yeah. So with that ability to pray and that being part of your identity, that's really cool. So let's talk a little bit more about this year's trip to Mexico, and then let's hear about your recent trip. So this year you went with the youth group from FBC down to Mexico.
Yeah.
And this year you were a little more on fire than the first year you went. So tell us a little bit about the trip. And
I think that really it was just like God like growing my heart for missions and like showing me that like, yes, this is like what I'm calling you to.
Oh, wow.
We at one point got to go to like this new village that we hadn't been to and hear about this building that they were building. Like it's called Noah's Ark, and in it they're going to have like medical things and beds and just like a place to stay, food. And the lady, I'm just remembering this, that was there, she didn't like, she spoke Spanish, and she was sharing her testimony with us. And in her testimony, she had like, there was a missionary that came and they just played soccer with her, but she remembered being like, whoa, this is so cool, and was like, I want to do this. Wow. And so like hearing that, and like just hearing that even the smallest things, like just showing love, that is still like, it stands out.
Wow. Talk a little bit more. You said God was growing your heart for missions, and even hearing love, small acts of love really stands out. Talk a little bit more about that.
Like how he was growing my heart?
Maybe. I'm like, that was just two really profound things you said. God was growing your heart for missions, and then you saw this woman and this love, like this seed of love.
I mean, just like being there and like getting to serve, it just like brought joy to me. And then like, I think we always are like, oh, I'm just here for a week, or I'm only seeing these kids for one day. How am I supposed to impact them? Like, how am I supposed to do? Like, how am I supposed to move at all or like do anything? And it's like God can use that. Yeah. He used it for that girl that's now a part of building like a huge building to serve other people. And like, yeah, I don't know.
I've never been on a long-term mission trip. The longest I've ever been gone is 14 days. And, you'll hear people, there's always kind of like, is 1 week mission trip, short-term mission trip, long-term mission trip, but like you said, God can move.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you were saying in the last one, like it's that fear and that shame, like all of the doubt.
Yeah.
And like,
is it enough? Is it enough to just go do this
Yeah. And that's kind of where you have to do like the truth telling that J.B. Winship talks about, where it's like, no, like, what does God say? What, like, what is the truth in this?
Absolutely. And he can move in big ways. And I don't know, for me, like, I'll never forget, I went on a trip to Puerto Rico in 2023. And I remember we were out in front of a grocery store, and we were there just, you know, just to have opportunity to talk to people. Mm-hmm. And first of all, when you look like I look and you're standing in Puerto Rico, it's obvious that you're not from there. Yeah. And so that in itself was like catching and moving to people. And I think that sometimes it's like, because you are a foreigner, then it almost like it means more that you're there. And what you have to say, what the Lord has to say through you, carries a little more of an exclamation mark to it, because you've come so far, like, to say things or to be there. Yeah.
It's definitely like going to the Middle East. I'm like, even like us just being here.
Yeah. I think is enough almost.
Is enough.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first time anybody had done anything like that, in the camps and like with the children. Mm. And so, there was one night where we just kind of had to be like, hey, this day was really hard, but I think God still moved. Wow. Like, we kind of had to, like, I don't know, like, refocus, like, as a team.
A few weeks ago, it was the Sunday you had just gotten back. I don't know if you remember Pastor Jason in his sermon talked about how
I didn't listen to that because I had just gotten back from like
you were
a 30-hour like travel.
You'd only landed back at home for like 7 hours. Yeah, but he had, there was a quote from someone else, I don't remember who it was from, but like, God is doing like 10,000 things, but we can only see 3.
I think I heard that.
I felt like you did,
because he was talking about how like God is working in like everything.
Yes. Everything. Yeah. Okay. So, for those of y'all, that are, you know, maybe just hearing this one, maybe you haven't heard the first one. Faith has gone to Mexico twice. And then just a few weeks ago, she got back from a trip to the Middle East. Yeah. And for those of you that are Gen X like me, we remember things like, when Saddam Hussein, you know, lost power in the Middle East, and we remember troops going for the Gulf War and things like that. And so, you know, to think of a young girl going to the Middle East and all the things that we, you know, might perceive or know about the Middle East, like, that might be a little scary. And I think you might have even had some people tell you some things, Faith, like, why would you go there? And it's dangerous. I mean, tell us.
Yeah, I did. I heard from someone that, like, it was from someone else that they didn't think it was a good idea for me to go. Yeah. And then my family liked to make jokes. And they were not helpful. Especially when you have this idea that you're going, like, into, like, a war zone. Yeah. I mean, like, you just think of, like, what you've heard. Yeah. And, like, I don't know. Yeah. It's
so... You talked about perspectives being an act of obedience, and then you talked about how it kind of opened you up to meet some of these team members, and you end up saying yes to go on a trip to the Middle East. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So,
because again, Faith hasn't finished high school yet. Like, she's a youngin'.
One of the lessons, I think it was like Lori Rogers. I don't know if anybody knows her.
I remember that one.
She was so sharing, and they had like a picture of this trip that they went on, and they were kind of talking about it, and I'd kind of heard a little bit about it. And so I go up to Sandra, and I was like, hey, if you're ever going on a trip that's like a little out of the normal, can you let me know? A week later, she's like, hey, we're going on this trip.
Wow. Yeah. This trip to the Middle East. Wow.
And yeah.
I mean, and I will say, like, I have a husband who retired from the Air Force, and I mean, he's gone over there many times for war. And here we go for missions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very much the Great Commission to go and make disciples of all nations, because where you went is mostly Muslim, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Muslim people live mostly there. Yeah. Islam. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was going to say, like, through my fear, I saw, like, oh, God, like you always hear people say like God's will is safer than like anywhere else. And then like actually seeing that and being like, oh, you can go to a place that you think is like a war zone, but if you're in God's will, you're safe.
Wow. Just let that soak in. God's will is the safest place. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Like in God's will, like that's the safest place to be.
Okay. So you decide that you're going to go on this mission trip to the Middle East. And I love the way that how you said, you know, if there's ever kind of what did you say? If there's ever a trip that's kind of out of the norm?
Yeah. I think I just said if it's like out, I don't even know how I asked it.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I was just like, if it's like not usual, like if it's a little
I wonder
scarier or something.
That. Yeah. I wonder if it was because the unreached people or
maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, because I'd been to Mexico, but I was like, I don't know. I wanted to go somewhere
because that's
different.
Definitely in the 1040 window. Like that's.
Yeah. Where I went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go to this city that is it's a large city, and you're going to a refugee camp, and this camp is, and I want you to fill in, but basically y'all are going. The team goes in different places, but the part of the team that you were a part of, that makes sense. Y'all were going to go into this refugee camp. And you even had to be careful about that. I remember y'all's prep work. You had to be careful about what you could and you could not say. But ultimately, this is a camp where people, because of their violent government, they left their country to basically be in a better place. And yet this place that they're in, this camp that they're in, they're facing food insecurities probably.
Yeah.
Not money,
I don't think
jobs.
that they have money, jobs.
Yeah.
Dads, like a lot of them, or husbands. I think a lot of them were killed, and like most of them. Yeah. It was like we would see the moms and we'd see the children, but I really didn't see a lot of husbands.
So you're going into this makeshift city, not even a city, makeshift place.
They had like
camp.
Tarps, like draped to make homes, and like where we were, it's just dry. And somebody was saying like, in the camps, like there is no hope. There's no life. And so, yeah, that's kind of like the environment we were going into.
So what were y'all hoping to accomplish?
We really wanted to just like plant seeds. Okay. And like we did kind of like a VBS, and we each did a different activity. So one of them was a coloring picture, and the kids like absolutely loved it. You would like fold it a certain way. We were doing the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000. And so like once you opened it, there was like a whole like crowd of people. Oh. And whenever you would open it, their eyes would just like light up, and they were like, it was the coolest thing.
Like reading a story to kids.
Yeah. Because it was new. Like they'd never seen it, and like coloring was new.
And the pictures, oh gosh, we will hopefully be publishing a little bit of your story and sharing these pictures. But there's pictures of faith with these children in the refugee camp. And I mean, some of these pictures, like you had a lot of children you were interacting with.
Yeah, that was like a big thing on this trip. Especially the first day we were planning for like 40 to 100 kids. We had 250 kids.
Speaking of Jesus feeding.
Yeah. We had 250 kids. Wow. And like, I just had this overwhelming peace. And I think of like Philippians 4, 6 through 7. And it's like, do not be anxious for anything, but in everything by prayer and petition, present your requests to God. And the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your heart and your mind. And like, I'm sure I missed, like, I probably didn't quote that.
It's okay. I probably messed up God knows.
Yeah. 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 Just like that verse came to mind after I came back.
So y'all showing up, you're in the Middle East with this team of people. You're showing up. How many days did y'all go into the camp, and what were some of your impressions of what you were seeing?
So we went to the camps 3 days.
Okay.
The first day we had 2 camps, like back to back. And there was definitely some challenges going into that first one. They wouldn't open the gate, and then like we just ended up starting later. And when we got there, they're like, do not share the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000, because there's people from the camps that are here and they're watching.
And the people that you were, you got into the camp with people who are Christian.
Yes.
And so they know what's going on in the camp. And,
yeah.
and y'all are there to be love, show love, hopefully plant seeds with a lot of restrictions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I made bracelets, and they each have like, it's kind of like the little gospel story, and each color means something. And we just were really careful with what we said. And one of the bracelet colors is like Jesus's blood. Like that's what it represents. But they do not believe that, like they believe he was a good guy. They believe he was a prophet, but they do not believe that he's the Son of God. And so it was just kind of little things like that where you had to change the, like your wording.
Yeah. Just to be careful. And yet, how do you think, or like, what are some impressions on how, God even moved within that so that his name is known and people maybe will come to the truth?
So at the first camp we went to, or I think this was at all of the camps, one of the ladies who does the women's ministry down there was going around to the moms and getting their numbers, getting their addresses, getting their names. And she was going to go visit them later. And like, basically she was like, if the moms believe, like the whole family's going to believe, because you follow your mom. Like,
that is so cool. So the kids are coming in, they're getting this fun lesson, whether you're able to share 100% of exactly what you want to share.
I mean,
go.
Even just like giving them something.
Yeah.
Like
making a connection.
Yes.
And then the women who are there long-term are building relationship with the moms while you're serving the children. Yeah. That's what was happening?
Yes, that's what was happening. And like the moms like seeing that like we came.
Yeah.
And like they were very interested and were happy to help with anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
So some curiosity was stirred.
Yeah.
And some relationship was built, and
100%.
Lots of love was given.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. From the kids and like us like giving it to the kids. They were so sweet.
Okay, well, I mean, I can't believe it, but we're almost already out of time. I'm like, I want to know so much more. And I'm sure you do too, as you're listening to this. But I mean, that is just so cool. So what would you say, like, how would you summarize that trip? And, maybe, I don't even know, just like, what else would you say about that trip?
I think like we saw God move when like, we thought there was no way, when it was like, we can't share the story. If you share like the gospel story on your bracelets, do it in a very small group, even with the words being changed. And everything was like so restricted, but we still saw God move. We still, like the last camp we went to, when we got there, they were like, don't share the story, be very quiet with the bracelets, just like be very careful. When we left, the like camp people that were there that were watching were like, hey, like, are you Christians? They asked that.
Oh.
And she was like, yes, we are Christians. And they ended up asking her to come back. And then like on the spot, was like,
what did you mean by camp people?
The like leaders of the camp, the people who were letting them in.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Like the people who were controlling it. They ended up being like, are you Christians? And then they were like, you are welcome to come whenever. And like on the spot, she was like, can we come back for Christmas? Oh. And like got that arranged.
You know what's coming to my mind is they will know you're Christians like by your love.
By your love.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So that was like really big.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So the people that live there all the time that are Christian have been invited, or there's some sort of something possibly happening.
Yeah. And there was like another camp where they're going to do it. It's like the Christmas boxes.
Yeah.
They're going to give those out.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's like, I'll bring Santa and like.
Yeah. That's incredible, because this is a place where I can't remember what percentages I saw, but it is mostly Muslims are there. Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing that really stood out was this was the pastor's daughter that was organizing all of it. And the last day we got to hear his testimony and just kind of hear what they have been working on and doing there. And he has a heart to plant churches. He is not just going to be like, oh, I've got my church, I'm good. And then like one other thing that he said was like, after he had already shared that they have been facing persecution, then he shared like, I'm not ashamed of the gospel. Like, I'm not ashamed to share my faith.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Might we all not be ashamed?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So if anybody is thinking about going on a mission trip, I would recommend.
Wow. Okay. Well, yes, we are out of time, but I just want to say God is so good. And all the way from you at 13 and starting to feel that emptiness within you, you surrendering, and now fast forward, not quite 4 years later, you've been on 3 mission trips, and you've signed up for a 4th just as of a minute ago.
Today. Yeah, like today, 30 minutes ago.
You'll be going to South America.
Yeah, I think if they let me go.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And so, the Lord is moving, and I'm just thinking about anyone listening to this podcast. I mean, I have no idea what's on your mind, but I hope what's on your heart is that God is good, and his name, it will be made known. I mean, I love the scripture in Revelation 7:9 when John is in the throne room and he sees all tribes, all languages, all people standing around the throne. And we all can play a part in that final scene. We all can go or pray or help others go or welcome or encourage others to go. Like, we all can play a part. And Faith, I just want to say I thank God for the part you're playing. And I'm so thankful our paths have crossed. And I'm so excited to see what the Lord is doing in your life. And I feel incredibly encouraged. Is there anything you want to say as we wrap it up?
I don't think so. I mean, just like, God is bigger than your fears. And like, I want to say again, like, in God's plan, that's where you're safest.
Love it. In God's plan, that is where you're safest. So friends, have a wonderful day. And if you have any questions or you just need help kind of sorting out what you feel like the Lord is saying to you, please reach out to someone at the church. And another shameless plug for Perspectives coming up in January in 2026, a profound, life-shaking, life-moving class. Right, Faith?
Yes, definitely.
All right. Thanks again so much, Faith.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Everyone have a blessed day.
We are so thankful that you joined our podcast today. We would love to hear any feedback you may have for us. Remember, Psalm 67 says, "May God be gracious to us and bless us, and make his face shine on us, so that your ways may be known on earth and your salvation among all nations." Don't forget why the Lord blesses us. It's so that we can be a blessing to those around us. Until next time, God bless.